Hi everyone. My name is Lori. So I am from Kid Made Modern. I'm so happy you all can join us today for our fun crafting session with Tessa from Studio Jane, I should say. I always call her by her Instagram handle. She does some awesome handmade crafts. You'll have to check her out on her Instagram again at Shop Studio Jane. But we've been doing some fun classes with Michaels since December, and we have another really great fun one for us today. Just a reminder that we can't hear or see you guys during the class. So please make sure if you have questions on the craft for Tessa, that you're putting it in the Q&A and I will help facilitate that during the class. All right. And then here's another thing, just real quick. This is being recorded, so this will be up on Michael's website in 24 hours if you want to rewatch. If you missed a step today, because I know we actually have a lot to go over with our craft today, if you missed a step, then we'll go ahead and post the video tomorrow, so you'll see it. All right, Tessa, ready to go.
All right. Thank you so much, Lori. Yes, thank you so much for joining us today, you guys. I'm so excited to craft with you. And today we are celebrating that you've been in school for 100 days. And so this is a big deal. I know school looks different for many of you in different places, different states. Some of you might be in school, some of you have been doing virtual school. So either way, it's been 100 days and that's very exciting. So we think you deserve to celebrate and you deserve an award. So great job. And since it's been 100 days, you're 100 days smarter and 100 days brighter. So we are celebrating by making these fun 100-day brighter crafts with 100 different pom-poms. So you can have your choice to make a rainbow or a shooting star. They're basically the same techniques. So we'll go over how to make, we'll make one whole one today, but I'll reference the other one as well. So you guys can get an idea to make either shape or any shape you want to today. So that's going to be our main craft. But to start, we are going to make some fun little ribbons to wear while we craft to really recognize each of you and celebrate 100 days of school. So for our ribbon, which is our first little craft we're going to jump into, you're going to need some construction paper or cardstock. I'm using 2 different colors here for a blue ribbon, but you can make your ribbon in any color you want. You need a ruler, just a standard ruler, a pair of scissors, and a pencil or pen. So I'm going to be using a black marker so you guys can see it well on the camera. And then lastly, we're using just some regular office tape and a safety pin if you want to pin your ribbon on. If you just want to use a glue dot or something, you can always stick that to your shirt instead, or maybe you just want to make it and hang on to it as a craft and not wear it, that's fine too. Okay, so we're going to dive into making this first, and then we'll jump back over into everything you need for your pom-pom craft. So let me switch my camera here and you guys can follow along. Okay, so, one thing I didn't mention that you're going to need is something circular to trace. So I'm just using a little mason jar here that I use for crafts all the time, but you can use a lid from something or the bottom of a glass, anything that's a round shape. We're going to be making our ribbons are decent size. So this jar is about a 3-inch wide jar. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is trace our circular object. So whatever you may be using, I'm just going to flip my jar upside down on my paper here and then trace my circle. So there's one, we're going to do 2 circles. Okay, so then we're going to cut these circles out. And if you don't want to make your ribbon today, this is just a little extra craft we're doing at the beginning. So just hang tight, you can always watch and then join in for the pom-pom craft in just a couple of minutes. And definitely let us know. I'm curious to know how many of you guys are back in school. Are you guys able to go to school in your states? Are you guys all learning from home? Feel free to put any answers or questions in that Q&A box, like Lori said. Love to know how you guys are learning this year. I know it's definitely been a different way of learning, so it's been fun for me to be able to teach some of these little craft tutorials, and all of you guys have gotten really good at Zooms and being able to follow along from the computer. So definitely learning different skills, that's for sure.
For sure. Allison, she's learning at home. And then we have another anonymous attendee that's getting homeschooled. So we're definitely all in our different boats, I should say.
Yeah, sounds like it. Okay, then from this, so once we had cut out our 2 circles here, we're going to cut out these smaller pieces that are going to be our ribbons. So I'm going to measure 1 inch. So I'm just going to take my ruler, and from the edge of my paper, I'm going to measure 1 inch and mark it with my marker. And then I'm going to bring my ruler down a couple more inches and mark it again. Now, by turning my paper, I can line up those 2 marks. I'll take my ruler, line up both of those marks here to get a nice straight line, and just mark that. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And I'm using this thicker marker just to make it a little bit easier to see for you guys, but you can use a colored pencil or a crayon or pencil, anything you have. And then also you can always flip your paper over. So even though I have this mark, you can still see there's a black marker on my paper. I'm just going to flip it over, and that makes it quickly disappear. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut this directly in half. So
we're getting a couple comments about slowing down, but just do you want to just explain what you just did? You again just
yeah,
if you have a ruler, I think that's fine as well. They can just kind of eye it, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have a ruler or you don't want to measure anything right now, you can definitely just cut a strip about 1 inch or about 2 fingers width. So if you want to just cut a strip of paper, really any width is fine. These strips we're cutting right now are for this portion of our ribbon. So you can definitely make it whatever size you want. But if you do want to measure, what we're doing is just measuring 1 inch. So take my edge of my ruler and line it up at the edge of my paper, and then measure to the 1 mark and mark there. And then I'm going to pull my ruler down about 6 inches, or just a good gap of space, and then measure to the 1 again. So this is just nice to be able to line up your 2 marks now to get a nice even line. And then once I line my ruler up on both those marks, I can just draw a line all the way across. And then we're just going to cut this strip out. And again, if you can definitely flip your paper over. So if your line is showing, we can flip that over. You're not going to be able to notice it. Or you can always erase it if you're using a pencil, anything like that. And then from there, we're just going to cut this in half. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If it's a little bit more or less, that's okay. We're not going to use the entire amount. So it's all right if it's not perfect. Okay, so once you have 2 of your pieces of paper, these are about 6 inches long, give or take a little bit. So you just want 2 pieces of paper that are 6 inches by 1 inch. And now we're going to cut a little triangle out of the bottom. So I took both of my pieces of paper, lined them up on the bottom here, so they're overlapping. And then I'm just going to cut from the corner at a diagonal and do the same thing on the other side. So from the corner, I'm going to cut in to the center here and cut a little triangle out. And that gives us the cute little ribbon shape. And you can definitely also cut yours if you don't want to do a little triangle out. You can always just cut a diagonal by itself. That also is a cute little ribbon shape, or you can just leave it square as well. Okay, so now we have our 2 circles and we have our 2 1-inch pieces of ribbon. Next, we're going to make this portion, which is called a paper rosette. So this kind of looks like a little flower shape. It's a blue ribbon. So we're going to use our other piece of paper here. And we're going to cut 2-inch strips. So the same way that we cut the 1-inch strips, we're going to take our ruler, line it up from the edge and mark at the 2-inch mark, and then pull our ruler down and mark again at the 2-inch mark. And this is just to make sure that it's larger than our circles, but you can definitely do it. You can eyeball this as well if you don't want to use a ruler or don't have a ruler handy right now. And you can just cut a bigger piece of paper than the little strips we already made. Okay, so there's one, and then do from the other side as well, so we can get 2 full strips. So these strips will be 2 inches wide by 11 inches long. So again, just measured in 2 inches. You can see there's my little mark on my paper. We have 2 inches there. And then I'm going to take my ruler and line up both of those marks and then draw a line all the way across. So now I have my 11-inch long piece of paper, and I have 2 inches on both sides. And then we're going to go ahead and cut that out. And again, I'm using a couple different shades of blue today, but any color you have is great. I'd love to know what colors you guys are making your ribbons out of. If you're not using a blue, if you're not going to make a blue ribbon, maybe your award is a pink ribbon or a yellow ribbon. Any of those colors are fun. So let me know what colors you guys are crafting with. Okay, so now we have our 2 long pieces of paper here that are 2 inches wide and 11 inches long. And now we're going to just fold this. So kind of like an accordion fold, we're going to take our piece of paper and fold it down. So you can see this little fold here, and that's just about a 1/2 inch fold. And then once you fold that, you're going to flip your paper over and then fold back onto itself the same width. So you want to fold it so that your ends meet up every time. So once you fold it, you flip your paper over again and then fold it again. And we're going to fold this entire thing back and forth. And as you build it up, it gets a little bit thick. Just put a little bit of pressure on it so you get a nice crisp fold. And that'll give us the pretty accordion rosette. And again, just back and forth. And this is what we're going to do for both strips of these navy blue paper. So just keep on folding with me here.
I'll share some colors as you're going through some folding here. Bridget is doing blue and yellow ribbon, her school colors.
So cute.
That was my school color. No, mine was blue and orange. I almost forgot. And then we have blue and purple that Adriana and Addie are doing. Hi, Adriana and Addie. I remember you guys from last time as well. Antoinette is doing pink, purple, and blue.
Pretty.
And everyone, I know we're going a little fast, but just know that we have 2 projects to get through today, and this will be recorded. So if you want to rewatch it tomorrow on Michael's, that link will be posted as well.
Yes, definitely. And like Lori said, we are getting through 2 projects today, so I definitely want to make sure you guys can see how to do the full Pom Pom project as well, that we're going to get to next as soon as we finish up our ribbons here. Okay, so we're continuing to fold. Again, we're just taking our long pieces of paper. They're about a 1/2 inch. We're just folding and then flip your paper over every time to make a new fold so that it creates a little accordion.
Awesome. And Coraline and Owen are doing pink, yellow, and red. That's awesome. I love all those 3.
Ooh, pretty. Okay. So now we have these 2 little accordion shapes here, or little zigzags. And so as you can see, we have all of our little triangles facing toward the top and our ends are going toward the bottom. You can see the way this is sitting, where the end is meeting the table. So we want to leave one like that where our ends are facing the table, and the other one we're going to flip over so that our ends are facing you. So you want that to be facing the sky and one side facing the table.
So one's like a tent going down and one's like a tent flipped up because of
Yep.
the, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see here, the end is facing up and this one is facing down.
Cool, thank you.
And this way, what we're gonna do is connect these. So that way it's continuing the exact same zigzag triangle. And we're just gonna take a little piece of tape here and we're gonna tape these two together. So my end going down, I'm gonna take my other piece that's going up and put it right on top and then put a little piece of tape on it. You can also use glue, a glue dot, hot glue. Since this craft only required a little bit of tape, we're just going to use the same all the way around. So, and then we're going to do the same thing here on the other side. So I just flipped it over in the same place. I'm just going to put a little piece of tape here. And then just scrunch all that up. Okay, so now we've got one long zigzag accordion piece here. And we're going to do the same thing, bringing these two ends together, basically making this fun little circle. So we're going to bring these two ends together, take a piece of tape, and connect the two pieces. And then do the same thing on the inside. So just gonna take my piece of tape and then just put it right on the inside here.
I know we're doing this for 100 days of school, but this could be really fun to do for someone's birthday as well, if you wanted to give them a special kind of birthday treat to wear on their birthday.
Absolutely, yeah. I think once you learn how to make these ribbons, it'd be so cute to make for birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day. You can make your grandparent the best grandparent award. You can do a lot of fun things with this little ribbon, and we're just going to draw right on top of ours whatever saying you want. So whatever you guys want to do is great if you want to celebrate something else today as well. Okay, so this part is the only part that's a little bit tricky. Oh, and I am going to use, I didn't mention this at the beginning and I should have, guys, sorry. I am going to use a little bit of hot glue right now, but you can do it with some white craft glue as well. It will take a little bit longer to dry, or you can use a glue dot. But the reason I'm going to use hot glue is it really is the easiest thing to do. So if you're crafting with an adult and you have a hot glue gun, that's great. If not, then glue dots or glue will work. But what we're going to do is you have to bend your little rosette, so your circle, bend it flat. So I'll do that again for you guys. This is the trickiest part, but once you get it down, then it's really cute. So just kind of pinch it on both sides and push it down in the middle. And it will fold it flat. All right, so show that one more time here. So just kind of pinch it up at the top and then push it down into the middle. So as you can see, it pops right back up. So we have to go ahead and anchor it down with our circles. And that's what you're gonna need the glue for. You can definitely use any sort of glue. Hot glue dries the fastest. So that's why we're gonna do just a little bit of hot glue on this circle here. So if you're gonna use glue dots or anything else, that'll work as well. So I just put some glue on my circle, and then I'm just going to try to hold my rosette flat and then put my circle right on top.
I think everyone can agree Tess is a professional with her glue gun that she just used. That was, I loved her one-handed glue gun.
We were talking about glue right before we started this, and I love a glue gun, you guys. It's one of my favorite tools. My mom taught me how to use a glue gun very young, actually. So I've been using the glue gun for a very long time now, and they can definitely hurt you. So you got to be careful, but once you get the hang of it and you use your glue gun regularly crafting with an adult, then they really are such a great tool to have. Okay, so once we've glued one side down, we're flipping our rosette over and we're going to put this second circle right in the middle. So you can see now we got circles on both sides. And then we are going to, you can pick whichever side is the front. I always kind of like to look at it and see whichever is maybe the more centered or is the better circle I cut out. So this is going to be my front. I'm going to flip it back over so we can attach our ribbons on the back. So again, you can use tape or hot glue or glue dot to do this. And we're just going to paste our ribbons on the back here. And I would do them just a little bit at an angle. And we're going to do the other one on top here. And I have them at 2 different lengths because I just think it's kind of cute that they come at different, that they kind of are at different lengths here. But you can definitely have them any lengths you want. If you want really long ones, just cut your strips longer than the 6 inches that we cut out today. If you want to do multiples, you can. But as we flip it over, then you see our little ribbon here. And then I'm just going to take a marker and write on the front 100. And if you want to write something special, maybe your school mascot or your name, on this one we wrote, I did it, something that makes you feel like you're celebrating today. So whatever you want to do is great. You can also draw little stars or hearts, anything that's fun. You can definitely add sequins or pom-poms or other fun things to the front. So you can decorate these however you want to. Okay, so then lastly, we are just going to take our safety pin. And this is one of those things that, like a hot glue gun, a safety pin is very sharp. So you want to make sure that you're careful or you're getting some help from an adult if you're going to be attaching a safety pin today. If not, again, if you have a glue dot, you could definitely stick a glue dot on the back of this and it will stick to your shirt. It probably won't be something you can use over and over again, but you can replace that glue dot every time you use it. Okay, so to use our safety pin here, just want to make sure which is the top and the bottom. So I'm going to call the top the portion that comes out, and the bottom is the portion that stays connected to our pin here. And we're going to lay it down. So the bottom portion down on the back here, and I'm just taping the safety pin on. So then connect that again. You can see the back of this with the tape showing everything. That's fine. You're not going to see it. It's going to go against your shirt or pin it against whatever you might be wearing. So you don't have to worry about it being pretty. The front side is the pretty side. So now you can see, we'll flip this around real quick and we can put on our pins. If you just made a pin with me, I know we went through this quickly. So if you haven't finished yours yet, or you're going to make your pin later, then please definitely show us photos of what you made. But as you can see, then we can put our pins on to celebrate 100 days because you guys are definitely winners in all of our books. So that's our whole little ribbon. So that's our first half of the craft today. I know we went through that quickly, like we said. All of this is going to be online tomorrow, so you can follow along if you want to make the ribbon tomorrow, and then just show us photos online, have mom and dad or your guardians post them so we can really see what your ribbons look like when you guys are wearing them. Okay, so next, we're moving right along and diving into our next portion of the craft, which is our 100 pom-pom craft. So to make our pom-poms, today we are just going to go through step by step to make this shooting star, but it is again the exact same steps, just different shapes to make a rainbow. So either one you can make. Both are obviously fun and colorful, so you can do whatever version you want to make at home. I'll be talking about both of them, but we'll go through all the steps to make the shooting star. So to make either one of these, you just need a few tools or supplies here. So we have a couple pieces of cardboard. These are just scraps from some shipping boxes. So go and ask mom or dad, find some in the garage. You can also use just construction paper as well. It won't be as thick, but you can definitely use any sort of piece of paper or a paper plate, anything like that if you don't have cardboard. And then for the shooting star, we're also using these fun metallic fuzzy sticks. These are from our Kid Made Modern Arts and Crafts library. So all of our Pom Poms and our fuzzy sticks are all from our library that we're using today. The kit comes with over 100 Pom Poms, which is great. So you can definitely get the kit to make that and have everything you need to make the craft today. But any fuzzy sticks will work, as well as any Pom Poms. So I went ahead and pulled out 100 Pom Poms. You can see I have a whole bowl of Pom Poms ready to go here. But any colors you want to do is fine. I like this fun red and orange and yellow, kind of reminding me of a star, but maybe your star is pink or blue. So whatever colors you want to do is fine. So once we got our Pom Poms, we've got our cardboard, our fuzzy sticks. Then we're going to use some paint. So for the shooting star, I'm just using my Kid Made Modern acrylic craft paint. Any paint you have at home is fine. I'm using a gold. And then for the rainbow, I just use a white. So either one of these, depending on which one you're doing. And the paint is for the background here on the shooting star portion or on the clouds. I didn't paint underneath the pom pom since we're covering that entirely with pom poms. Then you're going to need a paintbrush if you're painting, some glue. So you can either use glue dots to hold down all your pom poms. You can use craft glue or hot glue. So any type of adhesive will work to hold down all your pom poms and attach all of our cardboard pieces. And then lastly, I'm just going to use a little bit of yarn to create a little hanger for this. So this is just a little loop that we'll make at the end to easily hang on your wall if you want to make it a wall hanging. If you're making out of cardboard, it will kind of stand on its own too, so you can always just lean it. So you don't have to make a hanger, but it's just a little piece of yarn or twine. Anything like that will work. And I'm pretty sure that's everything you need to make this 100 pom pom craft. Oh, and a pen or a marker. So something to actually draw our star or rainbow shapes. Okay, so we barreled through that supply list. I know it's quite a few things, but again, if you're using our arts and crafts library, that's going to have most of it in there for you. But most of these are things you can get at Michael's. So if you don't have the library yet, then you can definitely use Pom Poms and all these things that you can get at Michael's or probably already have in your supplies at home. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera around again and we'll go through all these steps. Okay, so our first step is going to be drawing our shapes. So since we are going to be making the shooting star, I'm going to draw a star, and then separately is this like curved triangle shape. And these are just something we drew. I just drew. So any kind of star you want, if you want to make a real funky star with all different size points, that would be cute. If you want to be perfect, whatever kind of star you want, maybe you want to make a shooting heart or something else entirely, any shape is going to be adorable. So I have these two pieces of cardboard here, and I'm going to make, these are about 10 inches by 10 inches, but again, these are just some scrap pieces, so whatever size you want to make is fine. And then I'm just going to go ahead and draw a star. And the star isn't going to look perfect, and that's okay. So you can see this star's got a little funny leg there, but as we cut these out, you're not going to be able to notice that. So just want to get a good idea of what your star is. You can always do something fun if you want to do a little star on top and then big arms. Maybe your star is all different and your star looks like that. That's fine too. So you can really make whatever star shape you want. So once you draw your star, we're going to go ahead and just cut this out. And if you've crafted with us before, we do use a lot of cardboard. It's an easy and supply that you can usually find around the house. And it's something that you can recycle from things. And I always like to repurpose stuff, but know that cardboard sometimes can take a little while to figure out how to cut too, since it is thick. So just take a moment and cut along your lines here. And if you are making a rainbow instead of a shooting star today, then on this section you would be drawing and cutting out the shapes of your clouds first. And the clouds, you're just going to draw basically a big curves like you would draw a cloud in any drawing you probably painted at home. So anything like that will work fine. And those are about 6 inches or so wide for the rainbow we made. Okay, so cut this star out. So you can see there's my little star. Okay, so discard the rest of that cardboard. We've got our star. Now the second shape we're gonna cut out is our the shooting portion of the star. So I call it a curved triangle shape. Basically, I'm gonna use this bottom portion of my cardboard to be this bottom here. So we're just going to draw one side from the bottom and curve it over. And then I'm going to draw a point here at the top and curve it down. So kind of like a wave, a shark fin. You can also do a straight triangle if you want, or maybe yours has jagged points at the end. So you can really make whatever kind of shape you want. This just gives us space to put all of our fuzzy sticks and gold paint on at the end. Okay, so again, we're just going to cut this out of our cardboard. And I don't know if you guys are cutting out different shapes at home. Maybe you're not making a shooting star or a rainbow. We like these shapes, just we talked about being 100 days brighter, that we really played into being bright with bright colors and a bright shooting star. But tell Lori in the Q&A what shapes you guys are making. Maybe you're making something different that will inspire me too. Okay. So now, as you can see, we've got our star and we've got our curved triangle, our large shark fin. So we've got those there, and we're going to go ahead and paint this gold first. So anything that needs time to dry, I like to do that step toward the beginning. So that way it gives you some time to make sure that it does dry so that we can attach this and we can get all of our other pom-poms on it. So again, I'm just using a gold acrylic paint here from Kid Made Modern. If you have other gold paint you want to use, maybe you want yours to be a totally different color, that is fine too. So let me grab my scratch piece of paper here. And we will go ahead and paint this.
Dana said that Joey is making a rainbow. That's going to be really cute. Make sure you guys, if you're crafting with us today, to make sure to tag Michaels on Instagram. They have a special hashtag, which is #MakeItWithMichaels. We also would love to see it at Kid Made Modern. So make sure to tag Kid Made Modern, #GoMakeStuff. I'll put all of this in the chat so you guys can see it. And also, of course, Tessa loves to see all the pictures. So you could tag her at Shop Studio Jane as well. I'll put that all in the comments. I know that was a lot.
No, that's great. It's a good reminder, Lori. Yeah, we love seeing what you guys make. It's so fun to see what maybe something that we crafted together and how you can turn that into something totally your own. that's always my favorite part about crafting with you guys is that everyone's comes out different, and the colors you choose or the materials you use based on what you have on hand sometimes, or if you want to just make it your own, you have a different idea. We always get inspired by what you make. Okay, so as you can see, I just went ahead and did a quick layer of gold paint on this little triangle shape. At this point, if you're making a rainbow, I would paint the little clouds white instead, or maybe you want your clouds to be gold or a different color as well. That would also be cute. If you wanted to make this sparkly right now as your paint is drying, I would go ahead and shake a little bit of glitter on there, or maybe you want to do a glitter paint as well. You can definitely add on some glitter. We'll throw on a little bit of glitter paint on this one as well. If you want to, you can. We are going to be adding obviously our glittery fuzzy sticks. So we're definitely getting all the bright and all the glitter going on today. So even though this is a little bit wet, I'm just going to put a little bit, so when the light hits it, maybe this is going to hang in the window. You'll just have a little bit of extra glitter in there.
One of our other watchers is also making a rainbow, so I'll be very interested. I hope you guys share your pictures of your crafts, because I'd love to see the rainbows that you're creating.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so just did a little bit of glitter paint on top of our gold paint. Again, we don't have to do that. It just adds a little extra glitter there, so it'll dry clear with just glitter showing through. So now we're going to go ahead and set this aside, and that's all we're painting for the time being. We'll set our paintbrush to the side as well. Okay, so our next step is going to be now covering, I think this is a step we've all been waiting for, the pom-poms. I know they're my favorite. You can't go wrong with sparkly fuzzy pom-poms. So we're going to go ahead and start covering our stars. And so these stars, again, you can really make them any size you want, but you just want to make sure you can definitely get a lot of pom-poms on it. And then that's where also add additional pom-poms along the bottom. You can always cover this whole bottom in pom-poms as well if you wanted to do that. There's a lot that will layer and overlap. So as we build this up, you can kind of see that you have to kind of scrunch them together to fill in all the gaps. Okay, so again, I'm just going to grab my hot glue gun here. But you can definitely use just white glue as well. It will take a little longer, but since it is flat, you'll press them right into your glue. It'll take a little longer for them to dry. But once you finish gluing all of them on, you're still going to let that dry a couple of moments. Or you can always use glue dots. So whatever type of adhesive you're using today is fine. And then I'm just going to take my glue gun and draw a little line. So I just did a little bit of space there of glue, so then I can take my pom-poms and press them right into the hot glue. And I'm letting them kind of overlap the edge here. So as you can see from the back, they are kind of overlapping the back. So that way, if you have pin marks or cardboard showing, or got funny little frays of cardboard, or maybe yours has marks from the shipping box or a different color, you're not going to see any of that. So that's why we didn't have to worry about painting this. And then we're just going to keep gluing these on. So it's my little star tip here, and I am using all these red, orange, and yellow pom-poms, but any color you guys are using is great.
Are all of those colors that you picked out today from our Kid Made Modern Arts and Crafts library?
They are.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so all of these are from the Kid Made Modern Arts and Crafts library. You can definitely use different colors though, or mix and match, whatever you guys want to do. But yeah, all these sparkly ones and these fun multicolor ones, all of those come in the library.
Awesome.
And I just like to kind of mix and match as I go. So I'm going to put different colors next to one another. And probably do most of the perimeter first. So the whole edge first, and then fill in the center. And I was thinking as I was making this, it's been a long time since I've seen a shooting star. I don't know about you. I don't know, Lori, have you seen a shooting star recently? I haven't. And
Oh, I definitely have not. And I feel like I'm inside more than outside. So I haven't even.
I know, I agree. That's what I was thinking as well. So this craft made me realize I need to get outside to see some shooting stars. Maybe you guys have been seeing shooting stars where you live, but seems like it's been so cold at night, even in California. For me, a Californian, it's been cold. So definitely been coming inside. It's getting dark earlier, and haven't been outside to see all those shooting stars. So, but maybe you guys have. I have seen some rainbows though. So all you that are making rainbows, I've been seeing more of those lately, which is always fun.
It could be really cool to make a moon as well, because I know, especially if I have these big open windows at my house, so you can see the moon a lot.
Oh, that would be really pretty. Yeah, you could definitely do a moon. And that would be a fun shape to cut out, just a big crescent shape.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Alyssa's seen a shooting star. That's awesome.
Oh, good. So as you can see, I'm just continuing to glue all these on. And again, kind of going around the edges first. And then we'll fill in the center. So all these pom-poms are totally different shapes. Some are sparkly, some aren't. So you can really use any type that you have. And if you don't have pom-poms today, even though I know we talked a lot about this being a pom-pom craft, if you don't have pom-poms, you can use something else entirely. You can definitely use cotton balls. So go and ask mom or dad in the bathroom, get 100 cotton balls, you can paint them, you can glitter them. You can definitely do that instead, or you can always use other things. So maybe you want to cut out circles of paper instead. You can do any color you want. You can even cut these fuzzy sticks into small pieces and then cover your piece in 100 little pieces of fuzzy stick. So you can cover it with beads or sequins also.
Yeah, that's the great thing about crafts, that you always can make them your own with whatever supplies that you have.
Yeah.
Jody Harris is making a pom pom heart. That is going to be such a cute Valentine's Day
So
craft.
cute.
You'll have to, Jody, stay tuned for the end of class. We're going to give you a preview of what Valentine's craft we're going to do for another Michael's class in February. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, which is going to be so fun. I love Valentine's Day, so I'm glad it's coming up. Okay, so filled in most of my border here, and then we're just going to continue filling in the rest of it. So I'm just going to put some glue in the middle here, and then take my pom-poms. As you can see, there's sort of a little gap there, but we'll just come back around to that and easily fill that in with a small pom-pom instead. So that's what's fun about all these different sizes. Just pick a different one. And then that also creates a little more depth. So you can see that one's kind of sitting on top. So I think that's fun. And that's what's nice if your shape isn't too big, then as you're layering all your pom-poms on, you can definitely layer them and still be able to use the full 100 pom-poms. But they'll kind of all be overlapping, which is, I think, really cute. And you can always paint this as well. So maybe yours, you wanted to make a really big version, but you don't have enough, you want to just use the 100 pom-poms still. You could paint it first and then just sprinkle on the pom-poms instead, or whatever you wanted to do would work. So you can make it any size you want.
You just got a compliment, Tessa. I want to make sure you hear this. Alyssa says she loves your craft, so that's super kind of you to say.
Oh, thank you. That means so much, and I love crafting with you guys. It's been really fun.
Have any of you been in Tessa's class before at Michael's. We've done a few Christmas ones, and we just did one last week as well. I'm trying to think what our craft was last week. I can't even remember at the top of my head.
Last week we made our snowflake garlands.
Oh yes, snowflake garland. Adrian, yep, they've been in our class before. And then Rebecca is making a heart pom pom, and Mason is making a star. That sounds awesome, Rebecca.
So cute. Right, so just gonna layer in now. So I'm gonna go back around to anywhere that looks a little sparse. So I want to add a little extra, maybe even along the edges on some of these. I'm going to put in a couple small pom-poms to kind of cover up my cardboard. And as you can see, my star was kind of a funny shaped little star. It wasn't perfect, but as you fill in with all the pom-poms, you really don't see those perfect lines. So that's where you can make it any shape you want and not feel like it has to be perfect. And again, just continuing to fill in here. And I pre-counted out my 100 pom-poms in my bowl, so I know this is how many I have and how many to use, but you can always go back as you're gluing and count as you go. Or maybe you are just going to use some pom-poms and you're not doing it you don't want to use all 100, and that's okay too.
Everyone, I put it in the chat, the hashtags that you can share if you are sharing your crafts that you're making today. And also I shared Tessa's Instagram site so you can check out some of her crafts as well. She does some amazing, amazing goods.
Oh, thank you. It's been really fun to craft with you guys. So bringing back a lot of my memories crafting and learning how to craft. And I get so much inspiration from all of you guys. So that's been really very fun. All right, and again, just continuing to fill in with some glue here and some pom-poms. And kind of scrunch them together to fill in all your spaces.
I love the different like textures and thickness of that one too. That one looks awesome.
Yeah, I think that's fun. It almost makes me think of maybe what a star or a planet kind of looks like, and get all these different bumps and shapes. And so no matter what your shape is, you can definitely add layers here. So just as here feels a little low, so I'm just going to add a pom-pom right on the top here to overlap. And again, you can definitely do that with a glue dot or regular craft glue as well. If you're using hot glue, definitely make sure you got permission to use a hot glue gun, or you're crafting with an adult. And then you always want to make sure you're pulling away all those hot glue strings. That's got to be the only thing that if you've used a hot glue gun, you know, you always got to remove those at the end of your craft. All right, I'm just going to add a couple more on top here, and then we're going to be almost ready to make the remaining portion of it, and then we'll attach it all together.
Obviously, Tessa is very fast at her glue gun skills. So, but you guys take your time when doing this. Take as much time as you need. You can always come back to it. You can always put on a few and then come back and do a few more later.
Yes, that's a great point, Lori. Like I said before, I have definitely crafted a long time, so I might be a little bit faster with the glue gun or gluing these all on, but there's no rush. That's, again, the good thing. This is a fun craft. You're not getting a grade on it. It's for you, and that's what's so fun about making arts and crafts. So take your time and just fill it in. We're about to move on to the next step, but if you're still gluing your pom-poms on, just go ahead and let them dry or set it aside for a moment, and you can always go back to keep filling in. So as you can see, I still have quite a few pom-poms here. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to make the, or decorate our shooting portion of the star. And then we can always come back and add some more pom-poms on top of this if we need to. Okay. So here's my little shape here again. Looks like it's just about dry. If yours isn't dry yet, then just go ahead and take a moment. You can just watch these steps and then we'll be able to glue, you'll be able to glue it all on as soon as it is dry. Okay, so we're gonna start by adding our fuzzy sticks along the bottom. So I took my fuzzy sticks and I just curved them a little bit. And fuzzy sticks or pipe cleaners that you have at home. So I just curved them a little bit. So that way, as I glued them on, you can see they kind of are curving in the same direction of my triangle shape here. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing, just add a little bit of glue to the back and then attach them to the bottom. So we want this to be falling off of the triangle shape here. So we're just going to add a few more along the bottom. And they kind of vary inside in where I put them along the bottom here. So you can do them closer or further apart. And I have some going up a little higher and some a little lower. This one goes about 1 inch up. This one's about 2 inches up, as you can kind of just place them wherever you want. We're going to cut some of these as well into some smaller pieces. So you can kind of mix and match all different sizes and placements. And then the fun thing about these guys, they have wire in them, so you can really bend them any way you want. You can always twist them too. So maybe you want to add spirals coming off of yours. You could twist it and then add that twisty instead. So I just curled that around my finger, around a pencil, and then just kind of pull it out a little bit. You could add those on there. We'll add a couple twisties, because who doesn't like a little twist? And again, we're just kind of adding a little stripe of glue and then laying our fuzzy stick on top. And the bottom here, we're using a few different, a couple different colors. So I'm using both silver and gold metallic, but feel free to use whatever colors you have. And again, they're all kind of ranging different heights. So I want one a little taller, which would mean it's a little shorter on the bottom. And then I'm just kind of curving them slightly as we attach them. Okay, I'm going to add one more curly one. So again, just taking my fuzzy stick, wrapping around my finger, and then just kind of pulling both ends to loosen that spiral, and add one toward the front here. So now you can see I have all this kind of looking like stardust falling off of my shooting star. If you are making a rainbow or another shape, then probably going to skip this step, but you can definitely add, these to any shape you're making. If you want it to look like it is also flying or shooting through the sky, or maybe you want to make your rainbow like little gold at the bottom, like a little pot of gold. So you can do little fuzzy sticks on the bottom of your clouds as well. So you can really play with it and add any little shapes. Okay, so now we're going to glue some of these pom-poms on. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue or glue dot, whatever you're using, and glue it right at the top of some of these little fuzzy sticks. And I threw in a couple blue ones down here just for a little
little contrast. And then I'm going to add a couple in a few different spots. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding them to the tops of some of these fuzzy sticks. And then I'm leaving some gaps here that we're going to fill in with cut fuzzy sticks as well. Okay. Do a couple more here, and then we'll cut some fuzzy sticks down and show you how to add those in. Okay, so I'm going to take a fuzzy stick here, and with just any scissors, you can just cut some little smaller pieces. And then we're going to glue those down. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right on my triangle here, and then tuck in a little piece of fuzzy stick. And I just think that adds it makes it look like all these different shapes are connected or are kind of flying together in the same direction. So you just adding in those little bits here. All right, I'm gonna add a couple more at the top here. And this part, I'm just kind of making it as I go. So it looks different than the sample one that we made, but you can kind of mix and match whatever you want to do. So just using these pieces of fuzzy stick and pom poms to fill in some of this space here. All right, add a couple more on here. And again, just adding some remaining pom poms. And you can add as many on this portion as you want. Maybe you've used all your pom poms on your star shape, then you don't have to add them down below. So definitely feel free to make it your own. Okay, you're gonna add one more over here and then right on top of there. So you can see we've got all these fun metallic pom poms flying through space, and then we'll just add, so it looks like I filled up my star quickly, but to use all 100, we're going to add in a couple more pom poms here to fill in. And this is just gonna make it look nice and fluffy and full. If your star is bigger, maybe you've already used all of yours.
Since we're almost out of time, Tessa, do you want to just maybe add it and then we can add in the other extra pom poms?
Absolutely. Okay, so keep adding your pom poms to use all 100 of them. And then we're gonna go ahead when you're finished to attach these together. So all you're gonna do is take some of your glue, whatever type of glue you're using. I just put a little smear of glue at the top, that little triangle at the top. And I'm gonna take my star and lay it right on top of it. Just give it a little bit of pressure. So you can see from the back, just my little triangle portion at the top is glued onto the cardboard. And it's all connected. Have a nice fun star here. And then real quickly to show you guys, if you want to add a hanger on the back, this is really simple. I'm just going to take a little piece of yarn. So I'm just going to take about 6 inches of yarn here, fold it in half, and then tie a knot at the top. So I'll show you that again real quick. So fold your yarn in half. You've got your 2 tails on one side. You're going to hold those together and then tie a knot around your finger, pull your 2 tails through the circle and pull that tight. So now you have this little loop here. Cut that portion off. And then we're just going to flip our star over and using a little bit of tape or glue, whatever you want to use. We're just going to tape that on the back. And you'll be able to hang that from anywhere in your house.
Cute.
So there's your full shooting star, full of pom-poms, 100 pom-poms, celebrate 100 days. Flip this around so you guys can see the whole thing here. So it'll hang nicely. You can put your hanger from any portion if you want it to look like it's a falling star from the sky. So you can attach that any way you want. So I hope you guys loved crafting with us today. I know I definitely did. I love being able to do something to celebrate how smart and bright you guys are and for making it through 100 days of school. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to crafting with you guys soon.
You want to really quick a heads up. So if you want to join us again at Kid Made Modern with Tessa at Michael's, make sure to check out Michael's website. We have 2 crafts coming up in February. So do you want to show them the next one in February?
Yes, in February, we are going to be celebrating Valentine's Day by making love bugs.
Aww.
So these fun little pom-poms with googly eyes. We're going to go through all the steps to make these adorable little pom-pom love bugs that you can definitely gift or be your little Valentine cards for people. So I can't wait to celebrate Valentine's Day with you guys soon.
Yay. Well, thanks so much, Tessa, and thanks everyone for joining us at Kid Made Modern and Studio Jane today. And thanks, Michael's, of course, for having us.
Definitely. Thank you so much for crafting, guys. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.